Oh, welcome back. So, tonight I have a little story. So, um, I'm gonna skip quite a lot of um, what leads up to this story, but it's not really that important. But the last video I put out talking about drug addiction, herbal addiction, um, just makes me really want to put out these stories now, these drug stories that I have. Um, so I'm just gonna go in chronological order, I guess, um, of how these happen. So this first one is quite an interesting one. I'll tell you that because holy shit, how I don't even know how I get myself in these situations. But I mean I kind of do, but you know, uh, it's whatever. So today I'm going to be talking about someone, you know, I kind of know, I guess. I don't know. I actually uh, came across her not that long ago, surprisingly, very surprisingly, and I'll tell you why later. But this is about me maybe doing meth. I couldn't tell you. I don't know what what this lady gave me, but right. So it was summertime, right before my senior year, and I had just gotten a new job not that long ago, where it was as a line cook, and I would get off super late, like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and usually after that, I would stay up till like 6 or 7. I'd go and sneak out when my parents are asleep, because I get off at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I know they ass ain't gonna stay up for me to fucking get home, but um, so I had this whole routine of doing this almost literally every single day, like for the whole summer until like the last week. But um, I had only snuck out with my ex, and this is a little different because this is another lady, different lady. I worked with her. She would always close with me, and she one night she just randomly gave me her phone number, and she's like, if you ever want to hang out or whatever, I'm like, okay, cool, So we're gonna call this girl Karen. All right. So Karen is 27 years old at this time, during this time, and I am 17. So, yeah, that was a little creepy now that I think back on it. And, at the time I was just like, damn, hell yeah, I'm about to score with an older lady. Who knows what could happen. Um, so, um, there was one night, not that long after she gave me her phone number, I hit her up after I got off. She's like, bet I'll come scoop you, you know, uh, whatever. And I'm like, okay, bet. So, I only did this twice with this girl, and I'm so glad I only did it twice. But honestly, one time would have been enough. So first time, you know, I walk out of my neighborhood. She picks me up, um, and we're going to her place. We're going down her neighborhood. Keep in mind, this neighborhood ain't like it's not really in a rural part of the town, but there were a fuck ton of deer where she lived for some reason. Um, so we're driving down her road, and all of a sudden a deer just comes and headbutts the fuck out of the side of her car, and we just sit there for a minute. She's like, "What the fuck?" But yeah, no, that's how I knew that that night was gonna be super crazy. Um, so it we get to her place, which is actually her dad's house. She's living there with him, and so we get there, we're just chilling, we're talking, and then we're smoking a blunt, you know, normal shit that I be doing while I'm out, sneaking around and shit. But so we get done smoking the blunt, we're just chilling there, and all of a sudden she just walks over to the other side of the room. I don't know what it I don't know what it was, but um when I recently saw her, we, caught up a little bit, and she was telling me how she was so messed up on meth at the time when we were hanging out. So I'm fully convinced that she just whipped out some meth, I had no clue. And I had only smoked weed up to this point. I wasn't trying to do a lot of crazy shit as a kid. But, and she offers me some, and I'm like, okay, whatever. She, handed me a little tray and a dollar bill, and I'm assuming I'm assuming I snorted that. But I had no idea what I just, snorted. But I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, if she just did some of it, then I should be fine, whatever it is. And so I'm just laying on her bed, chilling, and I feel fucking amazing. I was like, holy shit, whatever she just gave me, I need some more of that, because this is crazy, you know? But, night goes on. We're just talking. We just talk the whole night, whatever. And like the whole time I'm like, holy shit, I feel great. And like she's just like looking at me with, the fuck me eyes, and I'm like, holy shit, is this about to happen? And I look at the time, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and I have to be back at my house at 6, because that's when my dad gets up to get ready for work. And in order for him to get ready, he has to walk past where my room is to get to the bathroom. And so if he catches me coming back in, then I'm fucked. So I'm like, oh, so I cut it off early, or short, I guess, not really early, because I had been there. We had been there for 5 hours, maybe. I'd gotten off pretty early that night, but so cut it off early, whatever. Um, and so probably about a week later, I hit her up again. I go over. Um, it's crazy. 'Cause we didn't do anything. Hell, I don't even remember if we smoked weed or not. But I know that time was when she was actually trying to get in my pants. And so, we're talking again, just chilling, you know. And then I'm laying on her bed, and I put my arm behind the pillow, and all of a sudden, I feel something. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Snatch that thing, whip it out. It's a dildo, fucking probably about yay long, about that thick. I'm like, holy fuck, what is this? I whip it out. She turns, she looks at me. She's like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. And I'm like, yeah, sure, sure. I bet you wanted me to find that. That's what I was thinking. And then she goes, puts it in her fucking dresser. Then I'm back to chilling on her bed, laying back, but on the other side now. And I stick my hand behind the pillow again, and I feel another one. The exact same thing. And I'm like, why does she have two of them? And why are they both under her fucking pillows like that? But I didn't bring attention to the second one. I just like slowly just retreated my hand out of that bitch. And so, that goes normal as usual. But then my ex, she, keep in mind, I didn't say this, but we were not dating at the time. I had like basically just met this girl. But she texts me and she's like, hey, I'm at this party with my sister, and I kind of want to leave. Where you at? What are you doing? And I'm like, actually, I'm with Karen right now. And she knew this girl, but she was like, I was like, I'm with Karen right now. And we just chilling at her crib. And she's like, oh, well, can I come over? And I had to ask Karen, and she's like, you know what? Yeah, whatever. And I knew she was probably like a good like hour and a half away. So, we're just laying there talking again. And then she gets all up on me. She's like, I hope this isn't weird. She's like got her hand like holding on, got a nice grip on my tit. And she's like got her legs like all like mingled up with mine. And like we're just laying there and all of a sudden, I'm like, holy shit, this is about to happen. I'm like, holy fuck. And then my ex shows up. I'm like, oh damn. But little did I know that she saved my fucking life because I found out probably about a year after this experience. So Karen, she quit the job we worked at together. And about a year later, I found out from one of the dudes I worked with that became a manager. We were talking about people that we used to work with, and he's like, "Yeah, I remember her." He was like, "I remember she had Hep C." And oh, actually, what brought her up was the fact that he was like, "Yo, did you see that she got arrested for homicide?" And I'm like, "What? That's fucking insane." And what's even crazier is I had found out that she was pregnant like right before he had told me that, like a day or two before he told me that. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, well, thank God I dodged a bullet with whatever the hell that was. Um, but yeah, I also found out she had Hep C. I'm like, holy fuck, if I had done anything with her, I probably would have fucking got that shit too. So I was like so thankful for my ex for just showing up at the best possible time. And so yeah, um, that's kind of that's kind of it to the whole drug part. Um, that was the last time I like saw her and talked to her for a while. And she comes back and works a couple months after I had found out she got arrested for homicide. I'm like, how the fuck is she here? How did she get out of that? Because I don't care what you say, but there should not be an amount of dick you can suck to get out of a homicide. Out of homicide. Like that's insane to me. I don't know how she got out of that. Like, there's no way she did something like that to get out of that. Because what the hell? And what happened to the baby? Like, she did not look pregnant whatsoever. She told me that she wasn't pregnant and she never wanted to have a kid. So either she got rid of it or, she has it. And I just, maybe she just came back to work like way before it was obvious, you know. Um, but yeah, She came back for about a week, then did. Um, Never hear about this girl. Never see her again. Thought she either died, went to prison, something like that. So fast forward to like I want to say like 2 months ago. Um, I went to the bar and I don't. I have like one friend that is also of legal drinking age. And, she hates going to this one bar because we only have two in this town and they're right next to each other. So people just be, bar hopping between the two constantly all night. And she knows way too many people. She said to be out in public, especially with me, because everybody be thinking we're together. But you know, so I'm there all by myself. Doing me a couple of drinks, some food, um, and it's pretty early actually. It's like 7:38 at night when I'm there. So it wasn't like too crazy. I think it was like a Wednesday night, some weird shit. So wasn't a lot of people there in general. But so I'm sitting there minding my own business, doing my own thing. And all of a sudden, she walks in with one of her friends, and I didn't recognize it was her for a while, for a minute, because I have really bad eyesight. I really need glasses, but I couldn't tell it was her until they both decided to come and sit right next to me. And I'm like, what the hell? And like, we both just kind of figured out it was each other. Like at the exact same time, we like looked at each other and we are like, hey, wait a minute, I know you, you know. And so her friend goes to the bathroom. We catch up a little bit, and then all of a sudden she's like, "So, were you at the gym like a month ago? Um, specifically on like a weekend night around 9 o'clock ish, towards the end of the month, very specific." And I'm like, "Yeah, actually, I was actually." And she was like, "Cause my friend, the girl that just went in the bathroom, she was like, my friend saw this dude that looks exactly like you, and she was." Going. She said she really wanted to, basically fuck me, I guess. But so we're talking about it. I'm like, holy shit, that's crazy. So I was like, I actually remember being there and two girls looking exactly like you two, just walking around the gym staring at me the whole time I'm there. I'm like, makes a lot of sense. Crazy that it had to be you two. It's crazy that we had to meet right here. Don't know what it is. I hope I can go back to it. But so we're sitting there, talking about it, and then her friend comes back, and as her friend's walking back to the bar, um, Karen is like, "Hey, give me your phone. Let me put her number in there for you." I'm like, "Okay, sure. There's no harm in that, I guess. Let me here." She puts in her number, and I'm like, "Okay, good." Her friend sits down, and then, I start making small talk with her, seeing what that's all about, and all of a sudden, Karen's like, "Oh shit, guys, I gotta dip. Sorry, I gotta go, like right now. Bye." We just two, leaves both of us alone to talk, I guess. And then, so I'm sitting there talking to this lady for like, um, basically until the fucking bar closes at like 2 o'clock in the morning. We were there that whole time just talking. And, let's just say that shit got really weird really fast. So it started off fine, we actually had made really good conversation. I'm a sucker for a really good conversation, and, fucking, so, we're sitting there talking, and all of a sudden, this big old man, like probably in his like, I want to say like mid 40s, well, not mid, early to mid 50s, big ass beer gut, like that shit protruding in every direction possible, for like a good like foot long in each direction, like big ass beer gut. Walks up to her, she turns around, she's sitting in that stool, She's like, "Hey, how are you?" And she like he like gets a little bit closer, and she like I don't know how she did it, but honestly, I was a little impressed. But she wrapped her arms around that fucking beard gut, took both hands on his cheeks, clenched that shit, and kissed him on the lips. And I'm sitting right next to her. I'm just sitting there jaw dropping. I'm looking at the bartender. I'm looking at the dude sitting across from me. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on right now? And apparently everybody in this fucking bar knows this girl too. And I'm just like, what the hell? What? What is going on right now? You know? And so after he walks away, she turns to me and she's like, your energy is so weird. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this part. She's like a very, very she was very heavy into she's a crystal girl, I'll say that. In her mid 30s. And she's very much into it. I will say that. But yet she doesn't even know what the fuck she was talking about half the time. But she's like, your energy, you just feel, you just look tense. You feel tense. And I'm like, me? No. Me? Tense? No. Me? I'm fine. I'm good. I'm chill. And so she gets up out of her bar stool. She gets up behind me and I'm just like, oh God, what's about to happen next? She takes her hands, puts them over my face, like doesn't even touch me. She just like keeps them like right on my face, like right in front of my face. And she just starts like both hands just starts doing that. She's like, you feel that? You feel that? You feel that energy? And I was in my head. I almost said it out loud. I wanted to so bad. I was like, the only thing I'm feeling is that body heat from your hands, you drunk bitch. Cause damn, I was getting cooked with them things. Go on. But and I was like, man, nah. And she's in there. She's like, you feel it? You feel it? I'm like, feel what? What am I? What am I supposed to be feeling right now? Like what are you doing? What is going on? I have no clue. But like this is so fucking weird. And this whole time I'm still just staring at the bartender and the dudes across from me. I'm like, help me, get me out of here, you know? And they just stared at me and I'm like, oh fuck. I guess I'll just have to handle this situation myself. And so she just keeps going across my whole like head, and then she eventually just goes like does it all over my body basically, like even down to my legs. She crouched down and started doing that around my legs. That's how fucking weird this shit was. I was so uncomfortable. I can't even like words can't even describe like how uncomfortable I was in that moment. And when she stopped, she was like, "You all better now?" I'm like, "Sure." I don't know what that was, but sure. Whatever makes you feel better. And so after that, she sits back down. I'm sitting there thinking, like, how am I gonna like leave? How am I just gonna leave this situation without her like following me? Some crazy shit. But so I'm just sitting there trying to think, and then I look down at my phone, and all of a sudden it's like 10 minutes till closing time. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll just thug it out. I'll finish my drink, and then I'll fucking go. She stays, keeps talking to me. And then when it comes closing time, she's like, come on, let's walk outside together, you know, whatever. This bitch parked right next to me. Out of all the parking spots, you just had to park right next to me. Like, there's no way this was a coincidence. I'm telling you. And there's no way they would have known what I drove either. Because I had just previously gotten a new car. So, like, there's no way that either of them knew what I fucking drove. But she literally parked right next to me. And so we walk outside, and then all of a sudden she stops. She's like, "I had a really good time tonight." No, bitch, I didn't even do anything. Just sat there and talked while you drank like 2 or 3 beers and called yourself wasted. Holy fuck, what is going on? Then, anyway, she does the same thing that she did to me, that she did to that man. She grabs me, like, she didn't grab my ass, but she like squeezed me like really tight around my fucking waist, like right on my hips. And I'm just like, oh my god. And then she goes in and kisses me on the lips. I'm like, oh no. I don't know. I don't know what's been on them things. God damn. I'm just like, oh, like I didn't say anything. I just sat there blank face. I'm like, um, good night, whatever. Get in my car. I'm sitting there for a minute. I'm like, what the hell just happened to me? How did I even end up in this situation? Like, why did this just randomly have to happen to me on this specific night? You know? And I'm just like, oh fuck, whatever. You know. So I did end up texting her like a week later. Didn't really go anywhere, and I really didn't want it to either. Um, I don't have any way to contact Karen, but I actually have a couple friends that love to go out to eat all the time where both of them work. I'm like, when I told them this story, they're like, that's crazy because I know both of them. I know both of them, and both of them are always serving us. I'm like, that's actually fucking insane. So, you know, uh, that was basically it. Yeah, that wasn't much of a drug story, really. There was nothing that really went on with that. Whatever, whatever that was that I snorted. My conclusion is met, but nothing really came of that. Except for probably about a year later, after I'd already moved out of my parents' house. I just had this constant, like, voice, like, literal, like, another different kind of voice in my head. It was like, you should do meth. Let's do meth. Let's do that. Let's do some meth. And I'm like, where is this coming from? Because I know damn well I ain't telling myself that I should go and do meth. Why the fuck? But yeah. So um, yeah, that that's pretty much my story right there. Um, yeah. So hope you found that one interesting. That was pretty. That one was something else. But yeah, that was my first experience with something other than weed. Um, so next, I'm going to be talking about my coke experiences. There are a couple of them. So yeah, thanks for listening. I guess the one person that watched this, maybe.